know. I think I'm muted. Seems like I'm muted, but that's you. Okay, well, welcome to Pacific Unitarian Universalist Church. This is the sixth of a six-part sort of spirit and practice workshop. Most of what I've taken is from a man named Eric Walker Wickstrom's Spirit in Practice sessions, and then I had to adapt it. There was things that, because we're virtual and present and taped and a ton of things, I had to mix it up a little bit. You know, most of this was designed in a pre-COVID world, so it's a small chance to be with your soul, ideally, and a chance to take a broader look. We're going to look at the spiritual balance in your life. We're going to walk through a little bit of a worksheet that comes from us, and this sort of the wheel of life. But at the moment, let's just fall into a still spot. Kelly can email you. There's a form for all of you that we can walk through. You might want to grab a pen. So when you grab that stuff and you're ready, we don't need it for this, but you will soon enough. Okay. This is a guided meditation. I adapted it a little bit. It's called I'm an Agent of Good in the World. And it comes from innerhealthstudio.com, which has other guided meditations. So innerhealthstudio.com. I want you to close your eyes. Focus your gaze on one small area. Half open is good. Shouldn't say close your eyes. Start by relaxing your muscles. When thoughts come to mind, disregard them. Think, or oh well, and turn your attention back to your body. Let your muscles become loose and relaxed, starting with your feet. To just kind of be with your ankles and up through your lower legs. Kind of embrace your body. Feel your knees. Have a little bit of gratitude for all they do for you. They've been with you a long time. Your upper legs, probably your strongest part of your body. Those big muscles that push you around. And then into your pelvis. I feel my pelvis being a little tense now that I think about it. Then on up into the trunk of your body, into your torso. Just relax your body, embrace it. Feel it. Feel that your attention come up into your shoulders, probably the broadest part of your body. And then focus in down on your arms. Just relax them, let them hang there. Just be with your body. Play with your fingers a little bit, feel them, the dexterity. Take a moment of consciousness to remember, if you don't know it, that the dexterity in our fingers, when we got our hands off the ground from running, helped build our brain and our entire nervous system. You would think it would go the other way, but it came from our fingers to a large degree, more than we think. Move your attention up through your neck, up into your jaw and your face. A lot of muscles in your face. Just kind of send a glowing light through your whole body and just be at peace as much as possible. Feel your body relaxed, loose. Now turn your attention to your breathing. Let your body fall away and just notice each breath. You don't have to change the way you breathe, just notice it. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them and let them go. For a moment, just be a breathing creature, nice and slow. Let the thoughts come and go and just focus in back and forth on the way you breathe. Nice peaceful moment. Notice how you're breathing. If you're healthy at all, flows in and out of your body without really any effort. What a gift. Allows us to do other things. Now think for a minute about being an agent for good. You are here on this earth in the great Unitarian Universalist tradition of being active participants in the world. We are an anti-retreat from the world church, really. We believe in engaging this blessed world, not a cursed place, a blessed place, where life is a gift and not a second-class status. You are an agent of good. Imagine the ways in which you make contributions, small ways, big ways maybe. Think of it as your duty to be that, being an agent for good, a peaceful example, calling in, like where Jesus did, where courage was required and where gentleness is required. You're just breathing and you're just thinking about your power and your goodness. Just thinking and breathing in, I am an agent of the good. I am an agent of the good. Call myself to that undefined task that we all express in 1,000 unique ways. You're on a little vacation from duty, but you are here to remind yourself of that. If you were here last week, we quickly told Buddha's story and how he struggled to find enlightenment, and he finds enlightenment. And he chooses not to just live there, he chooses to step back into the world and spread that truth. Notice how your body feels with its balance of relaxedness and sense of purpose. You're relaxed with a sense of purpose. It's a good place to be. I invite us to come back to the world and open your eyes and all of that. We're going to walk through a series of slides here.
You're not sure.
Oh, I want to share here. Let me. Ah, hold on. Ay, ay, ay. No. Okay. Sorry. Get there. Don't worry. Be patient with me.
Where it says sound on.
Yeah.
You didn't click those. That's okay.
Okay. So this is an individual wellness wheel called the traditional wellness wheel. It's one of many dynamics or, you know, examples people could have. As you can see, there's spiritual, emotional, intellectual, physical, social, environmental, financial. Usually everything in our life falls into one of these categories for sure, right? I'm going to bounce down to these are the sequence, if you can see it at home, of what matters most. We're going to walk through this and give everyone a chance to kind of experience where they're at and what they might want to learn. It's kind of its own instructional meditation in its own way. So there's continuous growth, safety and security, financial health, sense of vocation, relationships and belonging, physical well-being or health, emotional well-being or health, recreation and hobbies. Recreation, if you think of the word as recreation, recreation brings you back to yourself. There's contributions and service and purpose and spirituality. It's a broadened version of sort of what we are and makes us well. So we're going to start. If you're here, you have a little sheet at home. I hope you have it too. You can just pull out a regular sheet, or you can follow along with that if you like. It's a tool either way. Kelly's emailed that to everyone if they don't have it up already. So there's continuous growth. Are you continuing to evolve? This is a test. You can think of this. Are you continuing to evolve as a person at a pace you think is appropriate? Write your initial reactions to that question down, just the first things that crossed your mind. Are you continuing to evolve as a person at a pace you think is appropriate? How's that feel? Are you attending and encouraging the ongoing growth of your mind, body, and spirit? Are you attending to, are you encouraging the ongoing growth of your mind, your curiosity, your knowledge, your wisdom, your body? Are you caring for it, your spirit too? How are you doing at the task of moving your life forward towards its most fulfilling nature? How are you doing at the task of moving your life at the present place that it is? It's all different for all of us, towards its most fulfilling nature. How might you broaden your habits and opportunities? How might you to grow into the person that you want to be? What comes to mind? How might you broaden your habits and opportunities to more be the person you want to be? I'm going to create a little scorecard there. You can Give yourself a score or not, it doesn't matter. The next slide, safety and security. Defined as a sense of well-being that stems from the absence of external or internal threats and danger. That is really what safety and security is. And a sense of stability that enables one to live comfortably without undue anxiety. What in your life contributes to this comfort, to your sense of security and stability? And what else that's in your control that you can envision that might deepen or add to that sense of peace that comes with that security? Give yourself a score on that if you like to. The next one is relationship and belonging. Where did I go with that? Hold on. Did I get those out of order there? Here we go. Definition of relationship and belonging is a meaningful association between two or more people, inclusion within a social group, a culture or community that brings a sense of satisfaction. We're social creatures, of course. Spirituality is both an individual and a group pursuit at its best. So, which people and associations and group interactions bring meaning into your life? Probably more than we think of it. Meaning is an interdependent act. If you're too isolated, it's hard to feel much meaning. Think about that. Are there places you could broaden yourself? Maybe you're too stretched too thin. What is it about your relationships and belonging that you can cherish and lift up and also maybe challenge too? You can give yourself a score on that one if you like. That's a good way to walk through at the end and see what areas require the most attention for you. Relationship and belonging. And this emotional and mental health. I think we all kind of know what that is. Yeah. Got these out of order. Managing and expressing feelings in a healthy and non-harmful way. Managing your thoughts in supportive and productive ways. What are your strategies, coping skills for managing emotions like anger, anxiety, and sadness? What do you do to work with those natural things that come up for all of us? What are your strategies for maintaining calm and clarity during challenging circumstances which strike us all? What do you do that's helpful in this area? Let's think about that first. What are those little things you've learned as you've become an adult that you move through, that you do, that you might not have done in your younger years? Give yourself some credit for that. We all grow into a sense of stability that we didn't have when we were young. That's why kids, are just built, they're ecstatic and then they're tearful and exchanging moments. You're not that anymore. Might want to give yourself a score on this one as well. This next one's kind of simple. Recreation and hobbies, defined as, in this scale, as leisure activities that amuse or stimulate someone in a beneficial way. This is not about work. This is what you do for pleasure or relaxation. It might fold into other areas, right? You might recreate with other people. It's an activities that you do strictly for the pleasure of them. Some people knit. We have a whole new quilting group at church here, not connected to us, but at the church. And that's clearly something that people historically have done. It's sort of a peacemaking act, right? What activities do you currently make time for, and why? What would you like to add to your routine? I always feel like I should probably be playing the guitar. And at some point I probably will. If I could sing better, I certainly would do that. I probably would have a long time ago. Right. And there's your financial health. The state or management of your personal finances. Ask yourself how your current financial health impacts your well-being. Is this an area of concern? For some of us, it's a significant concern. It might be your primary concern. For most people in the world, it's right there on the front. Many of us, hardly all of us, but many of us are a little more privileged and almost have this buttoned up some. What are your intentions moving forward around ensuring your financial security now and out into the future? How does that balance with your other desires and needs? Give yourself a score if you want to on your financial health. Then there's vocation. I think for many of us who are retired, this could be also combined with hobbies. You can think of them together, maybe. The work, occupation, or profession, you could also take, if you're not actively engaged in a job, you could still consider yourself to have a vocation. You could give yourself a sense of a job, even if it's not for pay, that you call your work in the world. The act of responding to a personal calling towards work which offers meaning and purpose, ideally, is your vocation. Many of us don't have that freedom to make that choice, but you might. So think about that. What is the impact of your vocation, your duty, your calling to your overall quality of life? And are there activities that you do now or would like to that would strengthen your vocation? Do you feel like you even have one? It's a good question. And there's contribution and service too. If I was more organized, these would have been in order. I thought they were. There you go. We all have vocational growth to do. Contribution and service is that part of that you freely offer one's time and energy to benefit the greater good. What ways do you currently contribute to your community, to your peers, to your family, to your network? What do you do for others and to make the world a better place. Doesn't always feel good sometimes. Sometimes we're required to do things or called to do things we don't want to. What other service activities than the ones that you do might you find meaningful? Might balance you out? What other service experiences might be beneficial to others and in turn to you, to securing this part of your life? Give yourself a score on how much you're giving back, and are you doing it in ways that really, serve you in the best sense? Are they your best skills? Is physical health, simply enough, right? Consuming nourishing food and drink that maintains a healthy body and mind. How you treating your body? Are you treating your body in a way that optimizes its longevity and its function? Are those habits that you participate in constructive? I have to work on how I sit. I sit in comfortable ways that are not good for my overall body. I need to pay a little more attention to that. Not to mention chocolate. Of course, it's a balance, of course, right? How does your present routine and lifestyle support your physical well-being? What actions could you take to support your physical health that you are not? I need to stretch more. I'm pretty strong and I get enough exercise, but I don't stretch enough. That's for me. Everybody's different. I'm more yogurt than yoga. And then there's spirituality and purpose, the rubric for why we're all here. Spirituality and purpose go together, right? One is a sense of spirituality you might call a feeling thing. I think we would generally say that spirituality is felt more than thought. Sometimes we confuse that, but I think spirituality is a felt thing. And then there's purpose, right? Right there next to it, often. Oddly a combination that's important to strike, right? Spirituality might be defined or might be thought of as, are you in your proper relationship with the world that surrounds you? Do you feel at ease as a human being in your body, in your space? Which activities offer you purposefulness and meaning? What brings you a sense of connection in life that feels healthy? Do you get enough of that? Almost, be hard to get too much, I think. That's our frame. Any comments on that from people at home or here about what struck you as, is there anything missing? What did you mostly find yourself realizing, I've pretty much got most of these together? Did anyone stand out as just a real missing piece. Like, I smoke 3 packs a day and I drink all the time. I mean, that's obviously going to challenge your physical well-being in the long run. Any comments at home? You can unmute if you want to just share. Small enough group. I think we can trust that. Here are a list of secular spiritual practices to consider that came with this rubric. You could play the same game with yourself. Contemplation, right? This is a learning. This is, I would call contemplation a deep thinking exercise. Do you deeply think enough? Almost to the point of it being an act of being. Contemplation it settles you. I get a lot of this. I'm very blessed to have work that allows me to do this. It makes me a better person. I know I would not do as much contemplation if I didn't have to, probably. So I'm grateful for that. Then there's yoga and there's Tai Chi and any other physical discipline things that one can do that integrates spirit and body. Gardening, even. It doesn't have to be specifically religious. Are you embodied enough? Are you engaging with and enjoying nature? How's that feel? Are you out breathing in air and just being in life in its purest form, which I think we'd call nature the purest form of life? Someone phrased to me this phrase, forest bath. John Hokut, in fact, John Hokut and I walk on Tuesday mornings together a mile around a park here. But then he was up in British Columbia and said, I went for a forest bath walk. And I thought that phrase was cool. What about arts? You engaged enough in the arts? I know Stephen is a, florist. That's an art. Many of us are engaged in different kinds of arts. Leanne and Gary and I were here decorating the church a little bit, which you'll see. It was, it's an act of creativity and artistic expression. Do you do enough of that? Do you draw or quilt or paint or write or, let that creative force come through? It's kind of a way to be a mini God in a way, is to be creative. It really does give us, it's empowering in a way that's hard to put words to, being artistic. What about cooperative activities? Obvious, most of us here come to church. That's a great cooperative act. Are there others where you get that feeling of fellowship, team play, right? So important to so many kids growing up playing on teams. You learn a lot of ways to find yourself. Being in committees here at church, we need to build back our committees for sure. We're doing a lot of good things here at church, but we are not, and our adult ed programs are good, but we don't really cooperate on institutional stuff at the church like we really need to and should. That's sort of fallen away. Little sidebar. Are you maintaining your family relationships and friendships in a way that pleases you? It's kind of another art form, another balancing act. I have historically been pretty good at this. I'm feeling like that's a little challenged for me. I need to spend a little bit more time maybe writing letters and maybe being on the phone with people. Are you regularly also participating in acts where your compassion is drawn out of you into action? Are you doing compassionate things? Are you allowing yourself to see and be helpful, but also to just let that compassion and love express itself? How's that feel? I hope this was helpful. I think it's a pretty broad tool. I don't know if what it triggers for people. If it triggers, one constructive act or even the appreciation of how balanced you are, it's good. There's hardly too much outside this frame. I think that that's pretty much the frame of life of what our lives are. Well, thanks for being a part of this for the last 6 weeks. Those who've been consistent or just dropped in, appreciate your coming and hope it's been meaningful. We're going to take a little break from Saturday morning adult ed programming until I believe the 9th of January. We're working on a book group with the Islamic community, and that's not quite set in stone, but I think that's the next thing up. Is the 9th through the 23rd will be a series that we're going to read Reza Aslan's No God But God. You can get a jump start on that. No God But God, Reza Aslan's. And ideally, it would be great to be present here. There will be a handful of people from the Muslim community ideally joining us for that, which is a great kind of way for us to be cross-cultural.
Are you going on Saturdays?
Saturdays at 10, same time,
It's the
starting on the 8th. Okay, the 8th, sorry, yeah. I think I'm in terms of Sundays, so the 8th. Yeah, it'll be that 3 weeks, the 8th, the 15th, and then the 22nd. We're also, by the way, working on like an ecological speaker program, which would probably follow that as our next Saturday morning sequence. Our closing words. Anybody have any closing thoughts before I close our words?
Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. When you did the initial guided meditation and you
Yep.
talked about the whole idea of being an agent of good,
Mm.
the thought that just came to me, it was something I used to do and just totally don't anymore. And now I'm going to really start doing it again. I think because of all the polarized the world we live in, and people are scary right now sometimes when we're out in the world. But I wrote down, I'm going to get back into the habit of doing one, I'm not going for huge here. One thing, just one thing a day, at least start with that, to just help someone else in their life, just to make their life better. And I'm talking about something as simple as opening a door for somebody that may be wearing a mega hat, or just doing it doesn't have to be anything that seems like it's, earth shattering, but the little things, the goal just to make someone like smile, like let them go in front of you, or
Yeah.
and I used to really have that. I really used to try to do that, and it just totally fell away. So when you were doing that meditation, it really brought that back to me. And I thought, it's so easy to do. And it's not to get any, make yourself feel better. It's just the concept of maybe somebody will walk away and just feel better, and they won't, say something horrible to the next person. I don't know. It just really did bring that back. So thank you.
Yesterday,
I think you're go ahead, Stephen. Thanks, Susan.
yesterday I watched
Suzanne.
the funeral of the senator who died.
Bob
And-
Dole.
Yeah, and when they talked, his family talked about him or somebody. That was exactly one of his things he tried to do, he said. Every day, do something for someone, which was, he said, it didn't always, but I tried. And so some days he did for a lot and some days maybe not. But I think that's a neat idea.
Yeah. I mean, who can critique that, right? I mean, what does one say to that? But yeah, don't do that. Of course, like that's good. I always sort of think about life in a way of, we all have our frames and how we approach it. And I always think, I don't even have a number, but it's like, is it helpful? Will it be required for me to do it eventually anyway? And is it fun? And that's really almost a very simplistic thing. Like, does it nurture my spirit? Is it fun? Is it helpful to others? Will I eventually need to do it? And that's a pretty simple thing, and then I think, okay, I'm going to go binge watch a show for 4 hours. Well, it might be fun, but it's not something I'm going to have to do. It's not, you know what I mean? Like it, and then it kind of it's a pretty good basic guide for what you're going to do next. So there's a whole bunch of ways to look at this. I think it's just helpful to kind of throw them up there every once in a while and kind of, just sort of ask yourself, who am I being in this life? Because if you don't ask yourself that, very, very, very infrequently will you be asked that. And maybe that's exactly the main reason we should go to church or some kind of practice, is to just place that out in front of us, enough. Our closing words come from Erica Hewitt. She says, to encourage means to hearten, to impart strength and confidence. This is our work. As a religious community, it is our work to encourage one another to be bold in engaging the world around us, as well as what scares us internally. To give one another confidence and heart in life to live as fully as possible. I pray that we do that. Amen. Thanks for being here.